welcome to the CLOL Files, where I am sat down with the top laner of Northwood, Aizo. Aizo, how are you doing on this fine evening? I know you just came from your scrims. You worn out or anything, or are you ready to go?
I'm not really worn out. The scrims ended early. They were pretty quick.
pretty quick in a good way. Pretty quick,
Yeah, pretty quick in a great way. I think all the games ended in 20 minutes, and we were up probably 10K in all of them.
Oh wow, that's good. The good confidence booster for the upcoming matches, I guess. We'll get to that in a little bit, but I mean, just right off the bat, obviously top laner for Northwood University Esports, and the first question I want to ask you is, so this is like the first year that Northwood has really gone big in League of Legends Esports. Not really been that relevant of a school up until this point. What sort of led you to Northwood, and why did you decide to play here?
So I was playing at CC since fall of 2020. It was my first break into the scene, I guess, because I was, just on the solo queue ladder playing a bunch of Maokai, streaming it randomly lucked into Challenger, I guess, because I wasn't that good. But I made Challenger playing just Maokai. And then my older brother, Lycomaz, was at Harrisburg. I'm just gonna give you the full little background. It's pretty quick.
Go for it.
So he was playing at Harrisburg, and I had randomly lucked into playing in Challenger on Maokai, and at the time, Tails JJ, he's now the assistant coach at Cloud9. He was the coach, or coaching and helping coach the top lane players at Harrisburg, which is where my brother went. And so he hosted like a top laner coaching combine thing. And so he invited me to play in it because he needed people to lane against his top laners. And so that's where I learned how to play top lane. And miraculously,
play for real,
yeah, that's where I actually learned how to play the game. And so I credit Tails JJ to teaching me how to properly play top lane. And then by some stroke of luck, I was good enough. I tried out for a few schools. Funny enough, Harrisburg did not pick me up. I don't know what was going on.
What's going on there? Come on, no way.
Luckily, Columbia College picked me up. I went there, played with a pretty awesome roster of veterans. I was coming in for Misty Stumpy, who was the top laner before me there. Mm-hmm. And so he gave me some tips and stuff, and I got to get some actual reps in for Collegiate. Then we played the CC roster, and we played Rovex's Simps in UPL, and we got second place. We only lost to EG Prodigies. And then we played CLOL, got top 8. Next year comes, I have a great roster. I have me, Colthrow, Rovex, Shogo, and Chukis. Awesome roster. Super ready to play it out. Unfortunate circumstances happen at the school. Out of our hands. Everyone's pissed off. Everyone leaves the school except for Rovex because he's graduating in the spring semester. But I was stuck in the state of Missouri because I had a lease that wouldn't end till June. So I took a semester off and watched my bot lane of Shogo and Chukis go to UST and win CLOL. And so that entire time I'm sitting there in spring of 2022, I'm just spam LFT tweeting on Twitter saying, hey, I need a school and I need to know soon because my lease is up in June and I need to know where I'm living. so
that's
I can
important.
Find an apartment.
Yeah.
And so I was looking, and I got a DM from Evolve, who's the director at Northwood. And, I was saying I either need full ride to live, near the campus or whatever, or if I can do online, that's the best for me. Cause then if your town sucks, I don't have to live there. Cause my girlfriend didn't want to live in the middle of nowhere because we saw some schools that were offering good scholarships, but she's like, we're not gonna live there. So
that's valid. I feel like there's a lot of collegiate schools that are kind of in the middle of nowhere, so don't blame you.
Yeah. So luckily, Northwood they offered that I could basically pay on full tuition and do it remote. So
wow.
I went back to upstate New York, which is where I'm from and where I am now. And my director was like, yeah, so we don't like have a roster yet, but
That's what you love to hear, right? Like when you get to a team, it's like, we might play. I don't know.
well, luckily, so it was so early on. It was like May or so when I was deciding on whether I'd go there or not. And
Okay, yeah,
so collegiate teams always blow up. Like there's always player movement, so you can
right,
always find someone. And so I was like in my head, okay, I'm a challenger top laner. If I go to this school and I make the first move, and other players are like, okay, he's committed to the school, I'm more obligated to also commit, because a lot of times you'll have directors who are like, yeah, I'm in talks with Faker, Chovy, and a bunch of other whatever, right? And then no one commits,
right,
so no one ends up going to the school. But if you have someone who's like, I'm definitely going there, then you can get people to come.
right. And
And so that's how I ended up there.
I'm sure it helps too that Northwood has been an established school in other esports, right? They're very good at, I
Yes,
think, Rocket League and Overwatch, if I'm not mistaken.
and
So
Valorant, and yeah, I think they were just Valorant world champs as well. But that one just started as well, and they picked up a good team.
wow.
Yeah, they have a really good history in other esports, which is why I was fine with going there, even though their league team was like I never heard of Northwood for League of Legends.
Right. Yeah.
Um, and apparently no one else did, because on the early power rankings, we didn't even make the top 16, which was
Damn.
pretty funny. But maybe they didn't know our roster because Clyde was listed as Kirotaro,
Right.
and I don't know. Maybe they
And
never heard of Reppy and Chrono.
yeah, I was about to say Reppy and Chrono. I think like Reppy had played in like UPL last summer, and that was about
Yeah,
it. But
Reppy and Chrono have played together for a while.
oh, have they really? Okay.
Yeah.
So that sort of leads me into my next question then, because that was an amazing answer, by the way. The whole story, like you mentioned how you were sort of the rookie back in the day, but now at Northwood, I mean, in many ways, like you're definitely one of the veterans alongside RBM and Clyde, at least as we see it, and with Reppy and Chronos sort of being the new kids on the block. So what is the team dynamic sort of like, and how does everyone fit together?
Well, on our team, it's like I'm a top laner, so you know I'm sort of just gonna be away from the rest of the
Right.
game.
You're
Like
you're
in
like,
my
all right, good luck,
entire career,
guys.
in my entire career, usually there'll be like VOD review after a game, and I'll just sit there and have nothing to say because all the things they're VOD reviewing have nothing to do with me.
Right.
Um,
Especially with
but
your
then
play style, right? You're just like, hey, pick me Maokai. Like, I'll sit
I'm good
here,
with whatever. I'm good to just sit on the other side of the map and watch my teammates have fun.
There you
But
go.
RBM coming from MSU, he had a school where it's just like we don't really recruit players. We just have players who go to our school and we're like, hey, do you want to play League? So you had, miracle runs with Ivern, Rengar, Gwen. He's just screaming at his teammates to pick these champs so that he can play the game. So he's like a big leader for our team. He's a very vocal person. I know.
Oh yeah.
Everyone knows RBM is very sometimes too vocal. So he's really vocal. Reppy says a lot of dumb shit, or he just like talks to talk, but he wants to learn. He's very good.
Right.
He just sort of says, I think he just talks to talk sometime. But he's very good and very willing to learn. And I think he'll be really good. Chrono is super quiet, which is like kind of normal for an AD because they're not really shot calling, but he's like super quiet, like doesn't even say what champ he wants in draft. Quiet. So
that's bold, honestly.
a lot of the times we're just picking for him, and then he'll be like, yo, why am I playing this character, guys? But recently we've had Evan RL come in and help positional coach for Chrono, which has been very good. There's a time when we were having a little bit of trouble in our scrims where we'd be like, guys, we cannot figure out what is good bot lane because we say something's good and we lose it, and then we play the other side of the matchup and then we lose it.
Oh,
so we don't know what's good. So now that we've had some positional coaching, Chrono has been gapping people in lane alongside Clyde. And Clyde is just, Clyde, he's very vocal for like shot calling.
Hmm.
Um, and he'll just say, "Yeah, guys, pick me, Camille. Yeah, just give me." It looks really good this game, and he'll perform.
That's awesome. Yeah, Clyde's kind of a psycho. I feel like that's great. I mean, wait, do
Yeah,
you think everything's come together well this year in terms of, like you said, that obviously, like any team, I'm sure there's been growing pains, but do you think that things have come together the way you were sort of expecting? And I mean, obviously, you are competing at a very high level.
yeah. So when we were making this team, um, originally we were supposed to be getting Pocket Rhino and RBM as like a package deal,
Oh, really? Okay.
but Pocket Rhino really wanted to go to Ole Miss. So he went there, and we were like last minute, find a support. We need a challenger support, and we can go to LA, right? And so we were going through, and thank God Clyde was available, and also wanted a remote situation, which worked great. So we got Clyde, and our goal was basically just to go to LA. And when we saw what our bracket was, we were like, guys, we're going to LA. We're going to beat the shit out of Ole Miss, hopefully, and just go to LA. And then
Take down Pocket Rhino for abandoning you,
Yeah, exactly. It was going to be so amazing. And then it was like, oh, well, I guess it's only top 4 to LA, guys. But cuz we had when we were doing our like prep for what we thought the bracket was going to be, RBM was literally sitting in Discord just like staring at how the format was going to be and just predicting what it was going to be for a week.
Oh my word.
So he basically had the bracket figured out for what it was going to be, with like 1 or 2 changes, because he thought we'd be put in Group B instead of Ole Miss, but they were put above us. Doesn't matter. But Clyde was like, all right, guys, I'm giving you the Clyde guarantee. And we're going to LA. And he would have been right. In his defense, he did not know that it was only going to be top 4 to go to LA. But
I mean, sounds like the Clyde guarantee is still
outstanding.
It could still happen.
I think we learned a lot from our first matchup into SLU, and our team cohesion has gotten a lot better. I think you casted our game last week. That was the cleanest games we've ever played. Those were great games. I was very, 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 very pleasantly surprised. Well, not pleasantly surprised, but it felt really good to not be worried at all in the game.
Yeah, no, that's really great.
They went very well, and we've had like flashes of brilliance when we played versus Maryville in the OQs, and we beat them pretty cleanly. It wasn't like we stomped them, but it was a pretty good win, and we beat Plink or whatever. But then we went 0-3 after that on day 2.
We don't need to talk about what happened to the OQs. I remember Grapes and I covered the first one. We don't need to talk about that.
But we've been performing pretty well, and I think we would have a better time in this series if it was best of 5, because we're like draft demons. We're the most cancerous thing to play against, because we'll pick 3 characters that can all flex to 4 roles.
Right.
And like in our match last week, I played Udyr top because I practiced that champ originally, like, I don't know, 2 months ago, because I was like, man, Jax is the most annoying champ in League. I need a champ that's good into it blind. So I was playing Udyr, and look at that, we miraculously put the Udyr top, and I hadn't practiced it for a month, and they picked the champ that I've specifically practiced it into. It was amazing.
That is awesome.
but then I agreed a little bit and died to a gank, but the game went great anyways. But I think this team is probably the team I have the most freedom on, because I'm allowed to play more than just my standard tank weak sides. Because on a lot of my previous teams, I've had many veterans who want to play to them,
Right.
like all the time. And even though I'm super happy playing the weak side style, a lot of the problems I've had in the past is that it'll be like, say I was going against the same team with my previous team, they'd be like, all right, guys, we're against 2 vital. So we're just gonna self counter pick Aizo into 2 vital when he blinds something and hope he wins. Like we had many times where it's like, guys, it doesn't matter that they picked Camille. Let's just pick Ornn into Camille. It doesn't matter that it's like a self counter pick because we have Aizo on our team. It'll be fine, guys.
Oh no!
But with this team, I'm allowed to cook. I've been playing some very interesting things.
I like it.
Sometimes they go really well. Sometimes they're only okay, but
Okay.
most of the
Gotta
time,
break a few eggs to make an omelet, right? You know, like,
exactly.
yeah.
But most of the time, our games end up being pretty standard, purely because top lane is such a shit role, and like the entire game revolves around bot lane. Everyone picks either Jinx or Aphelios or Zeri and just watches their AD carry pentakill a team fight at 20 minutes at Baron, and that's how the game ends.
Right.
So, top lane is kind of whatever right now.
You hate to see it. Oh. Well, I've only got a couple more questions for you. I mean, your answers have been absolutely amazing so far. I guess the big one, I mean, obviously, so I also casted your series against SLU in the semifinals of North Conference.
Yes.
Couple close games, couple less close games. Hey, it happens, right? You got any fighting words for SLU coming up in your next series?
Yeah, our games versus SLU, they were unfortunate. I can't even remember what all the games were. I just remembered that I solo killed 2 vital in 3 of the 4 games.
You did, yeah.
I played Malphite in the Gnar. He walked up and killed him. Like, he literally survived my fight and then walked up and killed himself. And then game 2, I played Ornn blind. He picked Gwen. He walked up, killed himself. I just did the Ornn combo. Game 3, I played Gragas into Xante, and he walked up and killed himself. Like, I couldn't believe what I was watching. Like, RBM was super happy with me, but I didn't even play them very well.
Right.
He just like we both fought. We both got to 1 HP, and I remember the Gragas one specifically. I was just recalling in the bush. He walks up to the bush with no HP, and I just pressed EW and killed him.
Right.
I don't know what he was thinking.
Well, it was really funny for us on the broadcast too, because I just remember we're on the show and we're like, this is the series where Vital's gonna type in chat like GG top diff, like, because Winnie's like chain diving bot, like the whole map's kind of in shambles, and then Vital was like really having a happy series. We didn't.
It was kind of weird. I think if draft goes how we wanted to this time, there shouldn't be any solo kills. Well, maybe that's not true. Like, I should get solo kills if he plays the matchups that I think he'll play. Or at least I shouldn't die. If I get solo killed, then something's wrong.
Right.
Because that means I suck.
Of course.
But I think this time we'll win because my bot lane has like mega leveled up. Because if we had the same ball lane that I have right now in those games, I think we would have won all 4 of those games, probably, even though you only need to win 3 of them. But hopefully it'll work out. Yes, I think Chrono has majorly leveled up. My bot lane has figured out exactly what they like playing now, because sometimes your bot and support don't necessarily have the same meshing pool.
Right.
Like if your AD carry likes Ezreal, like if your AD carry is good boy, then your support can play anything they want because he's just gonna lock in Ezreal or something, and it doesn't matter what his support is. But I think that should be good. I don't know. Winston is gonna late invade no matter his character. Like,
yeah, Sounds about right.
and as even if his like top and mid lane matchups aren't terrible champs level 1, he'll lane invade. So if he does, great, we're ready for it. If he doesn't, even better. But
There you go.
as long as 2 Vital plays the way he did last time, it should be a win.
There we go. As long as Vital plays the way he did last time, it should be a win. Well, last big question I have for you, and we're already coming up on time, so but feel free to speak as long as you want on this. So obviously, you talked about how you made top 8 2 years ago. Unfortunately, couldn't go to LA because of COVID times. What would it mean to you to beat SLU this weekend and move on to top 4 and play on stage at the LCS studio?
It would be amazing because I've been playing League for a very, 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 very long time. Actually, over half my life now.
Wow.
Because I started playing League in 2011.
Damn, you've been
December.
playing a while then. Okay, yeah.
I was 11 years old when I started playing, and now I'm 22. I'll turn 23 next month, but I've been playing a long time. Thank you. I've been playing League a very, very long time, and I've only been Challenger for the past. I guess technically this is my 5th season hitting Challenger because I just hit it again last week. I feel like I'm super on top of my play right now. When I look back at how I played on CC the past 2 years, I'm such a stronger player in my eyes. And I really want to go to LA so that I can be on the stage, on the stream, and hopefully get to play a matchup that maybe people aren't expecting me to and perform in it. Because I sort of have this thing where, when people see you for the first time as a League player, you're always going to be their first impression of you.
Right.
I came in as a Maokai player. I play a lot of tanks, and I still play a lot of tanks because I'm very good at them.
Right.
It's what I like doing. But I do think I am capable of doing a lot more than maybe what people think I can play. And a lot of the times I feel like I'm actually being put onto these tank characters, not because of my own weakness necessarily, but because it's easier for teammates to play with a weak side tank top a lot of the time. Because then they don't have to think, oh, my jungler's pathing to me, guys. I can play however I want.
Right, of course.
And don't worry, guys. I'll take the short stick. It's fine. Go have fun. I'll just be playing like Ornn into Fiora. Have fun. I'll do it. But I don't know if I think I have anything to prove. Because I think to myself, I already know I'm, as good as maybe not as good as I want to be. I would always wish to be better. But I think if I looked at myself now compared to 2 years ago, I'm very proud with how much better I am as a player, as a teammate, or even as like a leader for my team, I guess. Not that I need to lead RBM or Clyde, but I feel that I'm so much better in my knowledge of the game that if I did go to LA, I would feel very comfortable being there as opposed to being like, damn, guys, I really lucked into my teammates here.
Right. Yeah.
But
no, that's amazing.
Yeah, I want to show that I am as good as I think I am. Maybe to other people, because I've for whatever reason been in this perpetual cycle where I've never actually been picked first for like a tryout or anything. Even at CC, when I was picked, I wasn't their first choice. I was picked up because they had someone else in mind, and then that person bailed. So they're like, all right, we'll pick up Aizo. I guess you can count Northwood as me being their first choice, but there was no tryout. They didn't have a program. I wasn't competing against anyone for the spot. But I think I just want to show that I am one of the best top laners, at least in Collegiate, if not one of the better ones in maybe tier 3
for sure.
But we'll have to see if I can at least beat former Academy player 2 Vital in this week's match.
Who knows? I mean, like you said, if what happened last time happens this time, maybe that'll be the case. But
Yeah,
well,
hopefully.
Isa, thank you so much for all of the amazing insight. Before I send you off, do you have anyone that you want to shout out in particular? Anyone you want to thank or anything else you want to say?
Definitely shout out to my girlfriend. Her like IGN or online persona is Lonnie. She's great. She's been super supportive of all my play. I every day I'm like, yeah, I have to go scrim for the next 3 hours upstairs. So I hope you don't get bored, whatever, whatever. But she's been super supportive of me, and you know, it makes it really easy to compete, knowing that I'm fully supported, and hopefully I get to go to LA so that she can justify a trip to LA because
There
that
you
would be
go.
fun.
Yeah, that would be. Well, Isa, thank you so much again. And best of luck this coming weekend in your matchup against Slew. I'm at the very least excited for a competitive series. And thank you to everyone that has watched this. This has been the CLOL Files video about Northwood. Thank you to Aizo one last time for sitting down, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.